Hello, YouTube. How are we doing this evening? Actually, I figured out that does work. I figured out I put up my sheet, which just covered enough of the sun, which you don't see. You can see it just a little bit right there, my sheet. But the sun is setting, so we can use regular light. Woo, woo, woo. Very happy. All right. Welcome, guys. I'm going to get YouTube. Actually, TikTok's ready to start right now. There we go. And I am ready. One moment. Boom. Boom. I'm yawning already. Sorry. All right. Welcome. All right. Welcome, everybody. TikTokers, YouTube, Discord, everybody. How are we doing this evening? Happy Thursday, October 23rd. Hello, TikTok. Hello, TikTok. Hey, Ash. Thank you guys for the gifts already. Appreciate that. So welcome, guys. We're here to talk about the news. Decent amount of news today, actually. So we'll get rolling on that. Bonsoir, Genève. Oops, here, let me turn off my speaker up. There we go. Is that doing it? Aye. Speaker off. There we go. All right. The sun is just setting, so it'll be gone in a second. I think it's kind of cool having the sun on TikTok. You can just see YouTube. It's just being covered on TikTok. You can just see the sun. It'll be there for a couple of minutes and it'll be gone. So think of it as, God putting a halo on me in my angelicness. So angelicness, angelic cosity. Anyway, how are we doing today, guys? I'm a little tired today, I must admit. Oh boy. Oh la 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 la. Yeah, so you guys know the show. We're going to go through the latest news, and then we hang out and talk afterwards. Thank you, Sandria. Beautiful North Star. Appreciate that. Hey, Bjorn. So yeah, we'll go through the news. We'll then talk about the news after the show, hang out a bit. Our usual, there's a decent chunk of news right now. Keep in mind, or not keep in mind, but remember Saturday is our Coffee Talk show, our hangout that I do exclusively for paid monthly subscribers, members, whatever you want to call them, but the paid monthly folks on TikTok, YouTube, and Discord. Thank you, Chazak. Thank you, Clarky, Sammy, Dario, Jorge, all the gifts coming in. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so remember Saturday morning, anybody on TikTok who has SNN next to your name, your monthly subscribers, anybody on YouTube whose name is green or blue or any other color that isn't kind of gray, and anybody on Discord, well, that was YouTube, I was just saying, and Discord, same thing. If your name is kind of, what's the default? The name is white. The default is white. If you're not white, so to speak, on Discord, we're going to see you on Saturday. All right. Welcome, guys. All right, let's get rolling. So, all right, we got a good amount of news today. I'm going to yawn at you because that's who I am. If I don't yawn at you, you should wonder if it's really my show. Anyway, final point here. Keep the gifts coming, guys. I appreciate the gifts very much. Memberships, especially subscribers and members and super fans, very important to support my work that way. So thank you. You get our weekend show, among other fun things like emojis, and also just the gifts in general. Your gifts are very helpful to this show. I appreciate it. And so thank you for that. All right, let's get rolling. East Wing. The East Wing is gone. Donald Trump today completely destroyed the East Wing of the White House. It's gone. It's gone. Oh, I see. Oh, got a Russian too. Hello, Russian. Oksana. Oksana. I'm going to say it like Donald Trump. Oksana. Yeah, Oksana. Oksana was like, this guy's not a real journalist. I don't always claim to be a real journalist. Having said that, I wrote for The Economist magazine out of London. Perhaps you've heard of it. Oksana. Where'd you write for? Pravda? So, destroyed. The East Wing's gone. Donald Trump totally destroyed the East Wing. It's gone 100%, exists no more. He literally destroyed a massive part of the White House. Thank you, Carrie. Very sweet. Oksana's not going to like you getting me a nice gift. Thank you. This is the picture showing the before and after from the New York Times. Really good, really nice satellite photo. So the before, this is the East Wing over here, the connection, the long hallway. This is the hallway where Melania previously had put the Black Death Christmas trees. Remember during Trump's first term when Melania did the Christmas trees that looked like they were the murder trees or whatever they were, the death trees? They were in this long famous hallway. That's gone. Then the East Wing was this here. Look at this picture. It's gone. I mean, it's because the Trumpers were trying to claim today, it's just the facade. It's not just the facade. The building is gone. I'm going to show you. It's gone. It is 100% gone. Now, even worse, we found out today looking at the photo. Look at the before photo. Look what's here, the Jackie Kennedy garden. He destroyed the Jackie Kennedy garden. He removed it. Go below. This piece of dirt was the Jackie Kennedy garden here. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. Is he going to put it back? Doubt it. Knowing Trump? Doubt it. Yeah. He just destroyed a massive part of the White House. He did it in violation of the rules because he doesn't care. He did it in violation of his promises. He lied because he doesn't care. The White House claimed today, oh, we've been totally transparent. By the way, that Seattle person is a troll, but like one of the actual official trolls. Make sure they're blocked. Just so folks know, when you're dealing with Twitter on this issue, the paid trolls that are organized by Trump and the Republicans and stuff, they've been given 2 talking points. One talking point is, nobody cares. Why does anybody care? Well, if you're Russian, I guess you don't care that a massive historic section of the White House that's been around for 123 years just got demolished in a scene that looked like it was from 9/11. Yeah. If you're Russian, I guess you don't care. If you're American, you actually care that the fact that a huge piece of the White House just got destroyed. I want to show you this picture. This is the picture of the White House before Trump took down the entire East Wing. Literally, if you looked at this, you would have thought it was New York City on 9/11. It completely looks like New York City on 9/11, even with the flag there, right? I mean, yeah. So the other thing, so the trolls like to, they've got to be paid trolls. The trolls say 2 things. One, why does anybody care? Nobody cares. If nobody cared, you wouldn't have been organized to come out and spread the lies that nobody cares if nobody cared. The other one, what was the other one? I'm forgetting what the other one. One was, I'm forgetting the other. You'll see the talking points. The same talking point will come up all the time. But one of them is nobody cares. And you're like, yeah, clearly a lot of people care. Trump wouldn't be freaking out. Yeah. So his ballroom is now up to 300,000 or more. It was going to be 200,000. He wanted bigger. It's going to be bigger now. It's literally going to be a ballroom. The pictures, oh, of course, I saw a picture of it today. The pictures of what it's going to look like, you'll be surprised to hear it's going to be gold. You'll be very surprised to hear it's going to be gold because he likes his gold. Hang on. Where is this? I'm trying to pull up my photos here. That horrible, horrible draft. Oh, yes. So this is the picture that Trump was releasing of what it's going to look like. Oh, surprise, gold, gold roof, gold chandeliers, gold trim on the columns, gold chairs, everything's gold because we are techie, because we're all Liberace, Saddam Hussein's children, and 79-year-old closeted men. Really freaking amazing. Really freaking amazing, right? Maybe, again, Liberace would design this. Saddam Hussein would design this. Actually, Saddam Hussein would have to be like kind of a Liberace version of Saddam Hussein would design this. Yeah. Didn't get any of the permissions he had to do. He just, and what worries me too is, again, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about destroying American history. Obviously, he rewrites history all the time, right? He tried to overthrow the government. He doesn't care about any of this. What's going to stop him from doing this at the rest of the White House, right? What if he decides he no longer likes the West Wing, right? He wants to get rid of it, right? I mean, I've been in the West Wing. It's okay. I mean, if you're really, again, if you're looking for opulent, the White House isn't it. Now, there's a reason the White House, I mean, the Oval Office is disgusting now. It looks like Liberace exploded. Like Liberace's gay cousin exploded inside the Oval Office. Gayer cousin. As a gay man, I say this. Right? It's gold. It's disgustingly gold everywhere now inside the Oval Office because that's not the White House. Because America was founded basically, no offense, Brits, but we, kind of overthrew the British government, so to speak, or we kicked them out at least of the US. We didn't want a king. We wanted our presidents to be more demure, right? More soft-spoken, more of the people. That's why the White House isn't some disgusting palace. Okay, I like Versailles. It's fun to visit, but living in Versailles would be kind of gross. As an American, you don't want it to look like Versailles. The White House doesn't look like Versailles. The White House is very soft-spoken. The hallways just right across from the White House, just right across from the Oval Office. I have not been at a meeting in the Oval Office. I wish I were, but I've been to the Oval Office and like peeked in you're allowed to look in the doorway. And it's cool as an American, but it's very simple, which is why he put all the tacky gold all over the wall, because there isn't tacky gold all over the wall. And the big meeting room right across the hall, I'm forgetting the name. Which meeting room is it? It's Roosevelt. I believe it's the Roosevelt meeting room because it's Teddy Roosevelt, and there's a big picture of him, as I recall. The Roosevelt meeting room, it's not anything special. Actually, I'm going to find the Roosevelt meeting room. The Roosevelt meeting room is super famous in the White House, the Roosevelt room. But I want to find a picture because you'll see what I'm talking about. Americans don't do kings. This is not a Liberace republic, right? We don't want rooms that look like, Louis XIV lived there. Okay, here we go. Here's the funny thing. This is a super duper famous room right across the hall from the Oval Office, from the president's office. Super famous meeting room. Look at the super famous meeting room in the White House. Okay? It's a meeting room. I mean, this is what the White House is. It's not meant to be gold and kings and riches, because that's not what America is. It's not what we were founded on, right? This is what the Oval Office was like before Tacky Man got to it. Let me show you again. Actually, I wonder if somebody did a before and after of the Oval Office. Just because it would be nice to actually literally see the comparison. Yeah, here's a bunch of, oh God, they're actually on this page. You can see, here's 3 in a row. Biden, Trump, and then I'm forgetting who is the one below. For example, okay, look at the 3 in a row from top to bottom. Normal, Trump with all the weird gold, and normal below Trump, right? I mean, you could see what it was and what he did to it. I'll show you guys, right? So normal, Trump, and then normal at the bottom again, and how he put all the tacky gold stuff. Now, so the gold stuff, this is interesting too, okay? Look at all the nasty, tacky gold he put at the fireplace, and look at the pictures. He changed all the pictures and made them gold. And he changed the lamps and made them gold. And then they went to Home Depot, we think, and spray painted the weird gold sconces and these weird gold. I was going to say what they look like, but TikTok might not like if I said what part of biology these things, part of not just biology, but what they look like. Check out what that fireplace used to look like. This is what that room used to look like where Trump was sitting. This is what it was. Right? It's you are so slow, Aiden, not you so slow. You so slow doesn't make sense in English. If we're going to troll, we really demand that our trolls speak proper English. Yeah, you can see. So it's gone. It's gone. He finally announced who a bunch of the donors were. Didn't say how much money they gave. A couple of reasons you wouldn't say how much money they gave. 1, you don't have enough money. And 2, you have too much money. Those are the 2 reasons you would not say how much money the businessmen have given to build this, because you don't have enough, or you've got so much that there's extra money and you don't want the American people to know you've got extra money, because then they'd find out where that extra money was going. We don't know. He won't tell us. Imagine a Democratic president, President Obama or President Biden, decided to collect hundreds of millions of dollars and not telling people what's happening, where the money's coming from, where's it going, how much are you spending, right? No, it's horrible. Listen to this quote from Trump. Trump said Wednesday, where's my wig? I can't read a quote like this without having the wig on. One moment. Here we go. All right. So Trump said Wednesday, keeping the East Wing would have hurt a very, very expensive, beautiful building. He said presidents have waited for it for years. He said, this is my favorite, me and some of my friends will pay for the ballroom at no cost to taxpayers. Me and some of my friends? Some of my friends and I will pay for it. Me and some of my friends. But that was great, though. Keeping the East Wing would have hurt a very, very expensive, beautiful building. It would have hurt the building. I don't think the building would have been hurt. It would have hurt the building. How does that work exactly? Yeah. Wonderful guy. So Trump has destroyed the White House. He's destroyed a historic part of the White House. It's gone. He didn't just take down a doorway. He didn't just take down the facade. He destroyed the entire East Wing of the White House. It's gone. The entire wing is gone. And the building he's building is going to be bigger than the entire White House. Bigger than all of it. It's going to be gross. It's going to overshadow. They had a historian on CNN last night talking about it, saying it's going to overshadow. It's going to make the White House an appendage. It's going to make the White House irrelevant, and it's going to turn the White House from an understated beauty, which is the whole point of it, because Americans don't do kings. It's going to turn it into some gaudy riches, golden riches thing. I sincerely hope, and I don't think Democrats would do it, but I sincerely hope whoever comes into power next tears that thing down. And they ought to say, we're tearing it down because the guy's a crook. I mean, if they had any balls, they would, Because, by the way, they're going to name the stupid airport after him, too. That's the other thing they're already talking about doing. They named one of our airports after Reagan, and they're going to name the other airport after Trump. That's what they're talking about doing in the Congress already. Did they name it after Democratic presidents? No. And honestly, I mean, I don't want to say Democrats let them get away with it. But, this stuff, especially this for this guy, nothing named after this guy can be allowed to stand. Nothing. So Trump said today he's going to let oil drilling happen in ANWR, the Alaska National Wildlife Refuge, the Arctic, actually, not the Alaska. Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, ANWR. He's going to let oil be drilled there and let another roadway be done through some pristine wilderness in the southeast. Trump, this was kind of interesting. Trump shelved plans today. Thank you, Christina. Keep this coming, guys. Trump shelved plans today to invade San Francisco. Remember, he was going to have National Guard troops do a martial law takeover of San Francisco as part of this sort of fascist military takeover of America that Gavin Newsom's been calling it, that the governor of California, the governor of Illinois has been talking about this being like a fascist takeover. Well, very interesting. Trump today announced he's not going to have thank you, Farah. He's not going to have the military invade San Francisco anymore. Now, this I thought was very interesting, okay? Now, this is important, though. Trump was going to have the National Guard invade San Francisco and basically, impose martial law because it was being overrun by terrorists who were threatening the lives of the ICE people there, right? Remember? He said terrorists. Stephen Miller said terrorists. Caroline Leavitt said terrorists. Remember, they told us, what's her face? Kristi Noem. Remember Bambi? Bambi told us that this was going to be worse, just as bad of terrorism as ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Remember, just as dangerous. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. If the protesters in San Francisco and elsewhere are literal terrorists as dangerous as ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and they're literally in the stages of launching an insurrection to violently overthrow the U.S. government, why did Donald Trump call off the National Guard going in there? That's crazy, right? And even better, he didn't call off the National Guard because his people did an assessment and said, oh, the terrorists have left. He called off the National Guard because a friend of his called from San Francisco and asked him to stop. A friend called and said, please don't invade my city. That's it. And Trump said, okay. If Trump was telling the truth, if Trump were telling the truth, subjunctive, if he were telling the truth and San Francisco was overrun by terrorists in the middle of promoting an insurrection, right? Then he shouldn't call it off, right? You can't allow an insurrection. You can't allow terrorists to take over a city. And you certainly aren't going to call off the military invasion of San Francisco against terrorists in the midst of an insurrection because one of your friends called and said, I'm your friend, please don't invade. Really? He lied. Again, I mean, the thing is, he's admitting he's lying. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. What is that? That was insane. Was that Claire? Was that the Rosie? I don't remember that Rosie. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Laddie, as well. That was cool, Claire. Thank you for that. Guys, obviously anybody being weird, ban them. I mean, just don't even engage with them. They're crazy, obviously. Just ban them. So yeah, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like he's admitting that he lied. Because if they were terrorists and if they were in the middle of an insurrection, he wouldn't call it off because a friend called and said, please don't. Right? Again, he's a liar. What else we got? Jack Smith. This was kind of fun. So Republicans in the Congress are trying to, Trump is trying to do this too. Trump has ordered his Justice Department as part of his vendetta and his criminal behavior to indict everybody who's ever been mean to him in life for no reason. He's trying to have them indict Jack Smith, who was the special counsel investigating Trump for his attempt to steal the election and his attempt to steal the election and his actual theft of classified documents. When Trump stole classified documents from the White House and then after he was no longer president and certainly not allowed to have them, refused to return them. Thank you, Joy. Refused to return the documents and he tried to hide them. He tried to hide the evidence when he was ordered to return them, which is obstruction of justice. Joe Biden, when he actually found himself that he had some classified documents in his house it was while Biden was president. So it was while he was president. So, kind of a mix, but they found the classified documents and he invited the FBI to come get them. He said, take them. And he said, not only should you take them, you should search my house. My house is plural, and make sure there's no more classified documents. Trump, don't search my house. Trump, don't take the documents. Trump, I'm actually going to hide the documents and hide the evidence to obstruct justice. All felonies. Jack Smith investigated. Well, now Trump wants Jack Smith thrown in prison because, of course, Jack Smith investigated Trump's crimes. In a fascist dictatorship, you can't have somebody investigating the fascist government, right? So Trump is now demanding this. Well, Republicans in Congress, of course, are helping Trump because they no longer believe in American democracy. They no longer believe that Congress should be an independent branch of government. So they're helping. Well, they told Smith, we want you to come testify. And Smith said, okay. Let me read you this. Smith, the former special counsel who twice indicted Trump, is asking for a public hearing following a summons from House Republicans to testify about his investigations. Smith's lawyers, citing many mischaracterizations made about his work, want to avoid a closed-door interview. Republicans have privately been wary about having Smith appear in public, concerned he will undercut the president's claims of innocence. Basically, Smith is saying, okay, you want to have a big public hearing about the investigation of Donald Trump's crimes, about him stealing classified information, about him trying to violently overthrow the government, about him trying to steal the election? Okay, let's have a public hearing and talk about all the evidence I found about Donald Trump trying to steal the election and about Donald Trump stealing classified information. Okay, let's do it. And the Republicans went, So what they're going to try to do, if they even have the hearing at all, they're going to try to do it privately. They're going to say, oh, it's all classified, because they don't want him speaking publicly. Because if he speaks publicly, he's going to tell everybody Donald Trump's a crook. And here's how we know. And Trump's going to be embarrassed. So maybe they should have thought of this before Donald Trump suggested that they should investigate and indict Jack Smith. Maybe they should have thought, is the guy who knows where all the bodies are literally buried, the guy who knows all the proof of you being a criminal, do you really want him to be talking publicly? Do you really want to give the press like his attention or call attention to him? Really? Anyway, where was this? Oh, so this was interesting. During the roundtable at the White House, a reporter asked Trump if the military, with Trump blowing up all the boats from Colombia and Venezuela and claiming that they're, drug boats or whatever, nobody believes him. During roundtable at the White House, a reporter asked Trump if the military could try to capture one of the boats his administration said were smuggling drugs to obtain evidence to back his claim. Like, why don't you capture one of the boats and you can show us all the illegal contraband, right? Trump appeared to dismiss the suggestion. Quote, we've been capturing We've been capturing those boats for years, Trump said, then added, they get back into the system and they do it again and again, and they don't fear that. They have no fear. Okay, so if for years we've been grabbing the boats and now Trump doesn't want to do it because when you grab the boats, they get back into the system, whatever that means, meaning they go and they smuggle more drugs. Okay. Then why did Trump just, when the last boat he blew up, there were 2 survivors. The U.S. Coast Guard got a hold of the survivors. Trump let them go. He let them go. They went back home to Ecuador. Apparently, they were from Ecuador. And the Ecuadorian government said, we're not going to charge them. So the 2 guys that Trump claimed were smugglers, right, of illegal stuff. I'm trying not to use the words that TikTok doesn't like. The smugglers of the illegal stuff. Trump let them go and they're going to go back and do it again. But he just said the reason we've got this policy is when you let them go, they do the crime again. So we no longer let them go, but he just let them go. Why did, if they were really guilty, if he were telling the truth about what these guys were doing, if they really were smuggling the illegal stuff, right? Then why wouldn't he have kept them in American prisons? Why would he let them go? Because he can't prove that they were smugglers. They probably weren't smugglers. They were innocent people, just like the president of Colombia said. But you get what I mean? Like he contradicts himself. And when he contradicts himself, he's basically admitting he's lying, basically. What else we got here? Keep the Oh, follow me, TikTok and YouTube. I always forget to ask you guys to follow me. A lot of you are regulars. You know this anyway. But anybody who's not a regular, I do the news every day. I do a lot of videos throughout the day. And then we have a show every night, Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern. We talk about the latest news. I've got a background in media and law and politics and basically help you guys sort of understand what's going on as an insider from Washington. A little bit more here. Target, which is a huge American retail store, is going to cut around 1,000 jobs. That's not good. Trump pardoned a big crypto supporter. That's not good. Caroline Levitt, this was interesting. So a little bit of the Ukraine stuff. Trump's spokesperson, Caroline Levitt, said that the Trump-Putin summit is not completely off the table. So Trump said today, it's off the table. He said yesterday, it's off the table. She said today, well, it's not completely off the table. If Russia comes around, we're going to meet. So he's tacoing again. He's tacoing again on this whole thing with Putin. Like, okay. 2 Russian military aircraft briefly violated Lithuanian airspace. At some point, we are going to see the Europeans shoot down a Russian plane. They're going to do it. They've already said they're going to do it. They should do it. They haven't been doing it. And the Russians keep violating their airspace in order to basically go, The Europeans are going to need to stand up to the Russians at some point, or they're going to keep doing this, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. The Turks did it back 2015 or so. The Russians kept invading the Turkish airspace to be jerks. They do it on purpose. They fly into the airspace just to be jerks. And so the Turks shot them down. They blew the planes out of the sky. They literally blew the Russian military planes out of the sky, gone, sayonara, don't come back now. What did Russia do? They never flew another military plane into Turkish airspace without permission ever again. That was the big, bad Russian retaliation. The Russians never did it again. That's all they did. They didn't punish Turkey. They simply didn't try that crap again. Thank you, Succeed. Very cool gift. Yeah. Oh, the oil. So here is a bit of rare good news from Trump. It looks like the oil sanctions he did might be real. Now, there's an issue with regards to having to enforce them. If you don't enforce them, they're not real. But this was from the New York Times today. Listen to this. The sanctions are among the most significant measures that the U.S. has taken against the Russian energy sector since the beginning of the war. The sanctions targeted Russia's 2 largest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil. Trump's irritation with Putin was evident on Wednesday. Every time I speak with Vladimir, I have good conversations, and then they don't go anywhere. They just don't go anywhere. This is good. I mean, this is good. Now, they are saying that analysts noted that enforcement of the sanctions would be important for determining if they are effective. So Trump could still blow it off. He could still not enforce the sanctions. So there's wiggle room for him to not really, do this. But New York Times is saying, sounds like the energy sanctions were actually significant that he put on Russia, which is good. Again, he's going to flip-flop again, but this is still good. As I always say with Trump, at least if he's doing it, at least if right now he's being good, let's just take our victories, right? Taco is Trump always chickens out. It is a nickname for Trump. We've got a little emoji folks can use. It's a nickname, actually a couple emojis. Nickname for Trump that Wall Street came up for him because Trump kept flip-flopping on the tariffs. Because remember, like, he did do a lot of tariffs that have caused a lot of inflation, but he also threatened a lot of tariffs and then took them back, and Colombia and then took them back, and then Mexico and Canada and took them back, and Brazil and took them back, and China and took them back. And he kept announcing tariffs and then taking them back, just like he does with Russia. He flip-flops, and he's not very strong. He's a very weak leader in that way. He makes threats and even follows through on his threat and then immediately caves. Even like, by the way, Putin, right? Trump said yesterday, I'm not meeting with Putin. Today, the White House said, well, we meet with Putin. It was like, dude cannot take a firm position. He is weak. He's a weak president. He's a weak man. Putin, oh, this was good. Putin decided to make threats about the Tomahawk missiles. So we've been wanting Ukraine to get Tomahawk cruise missiles. Trump has been playing games. He lied. First, Trump was saying, "Well, I don't want to do them yet. Let's try to have peace first, or whatever." Now Trump is claiming, "Oh, it'll take so long for the Ukrainians to train. It'll take so long for the Ukrainians to train. 6 months. It might take 6 months to train the Ukrainians on the cruise missiles, so it's not worth it." Why wouldn't it be worth it? 6 months isn't long at all. 6 months isn't long at all. Why would we not want to train Ukraine in how to use the cruise missiles in only 6 months? 6 months to a year, but 6 months? That'd be great, right? I mean, nobody thinks the war is going to be over in 6 months, right? I mean, because he doesn't want to. He talked to Putin. Putin doesn't want him to. So Putin made a new threat today about the Tomahawks, which is very funny too, because the Russians are the biggest bluffers on the planet. Russia has bluffed so many times since the war in Ukraine began. It's been 3.5 years. Russia has made so many threats. They haven't followed through on literally none of their threats that they followed through on. And they're making more threats now about the, thank you for the gift there, Dave. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Listen to this. The, I don't know. I got 1.1 thousand people. Are you ever tired of talking to yourself, Thomas says? Well, actually, Thomas, I'm talking to 1,100 people, 1,100 people on TikTok. I'm going to venture a guess that you've never gone live with 1,200 people. Thank you, whoever just joined us. I'm going to guess that Thomas has never held a live with 1,200 people. Yes, and we've got a couple hundred over on YouTube as well, and Discord. So anyway, just had to say that. I just like when the trolls come and they try to throw crap around, but it doesn't quite make sense. Like, you're talking to yourself. Well, no, we can all see in the corner. I'm talking to 1,200 people, which is actually pretty good for a live. I'd like more, but it's pretty damn good. What else? So Putin on the Tomahawk missiles. Listen to this via CNN. Russia's response to any potential Tomahawk strike on its territory would be serious, if not overwhelming. Russian President Putin said minutes ago, though the U.S. has not agreed to provide the missiles, the fact that Kyiv is trying to get permission is an attempt at escalation, Putin says. An attempt at escalation. I'm going to read you more. But if such weapons are used to strike Russian territory, the response will be very serious, if not overwhelming. Let them think about that. Well, I don't know how we're supposed to think about that, because that comment didn't, maybe that makes sense in Russian. That comment didn't make any sense. The response is going to be very serious, if not overwhelming. I don't know what that means. Very serious. Okay. Are you going to cut our lunch money? I mean, what are you going to, what does that mean? Overwhelming. What's he going to do? You going to invade? No. Right? Keep in mind, the Ukrainians have been firing into Russia with these weapons already, with similar weapons. Thank you. Who's that? Kim. Thank you, Kim, for the pumpkin. They've been using British and French cruise missiles to fire into Russia already. So Putin's literally already failed on his threat. If you use Western cruise missiles to fire into Russia, the response will be overwhelming. Well, Ukraine's been doing that for 2 years now. I didn't see any response at all, let alone a very serious, if not overwhelming response, right? Where's the response? All the Russians do is bluff. They are the worst bluffers. They've got an okay military. I mean, their military sucks, but they've got an okay military because it's so big. Their military sucks, but it's so big that they're able to cause a lot of damage like they do in Ukraine, right? If they took us on, they'd lose. If they took Europe on, they'd lose. And they know that, which is why they constantly threaten. Remember during the war with Ukraine now, the Russians have threatened nuclear war. Like at one point, they've calmed down a little finally. But at one point for about 2 years in the war, 3 times a week, the Russians would threaten nuclear war. 3 times a week, they would threaten it. And we would joke about it because people would ask me, oh my God, the Russians today threatened nuclear war. I'm really worried. And I'd be like, it's the 3rd time this week. It's the 12th time this month. It's the 140th time this year they've threatened nuclear war. There isn't going to be a nuclear war. Or we would have had 140 nuclear wars already this year. It's what they do. They lie. What do you do? What do you do? Anyway, what else we got? A couple more stories and then we're done. European Union will agree in principle to finance Ukraine for the next 2 years using frozen Russian assets. They're still working on it, but agreement in principle. Zelensky said a quick passage of the plan to use the frozen Russian assets to provide Ukraine with a 140 billion euro, 163 billion dollar loan would save lives. CNN. So Trump's oil sanctions look like they're, again, occasionally Trump does good things. The problem is he then caves, and because he doesn't do anything for good reasons. But the oil sanctions on Russia are already having a good impact. Again, he's going to cave, and he's going to cave on the sanctions. But right now, he's doing good. Listen to this. CNN. Trump administration can celebrate an early sign of success as its sanctions on Russia's 2 largest oil companies, announced late on Wednesday, have already prompted moves by Indian refiners to slash imports of Russian oil, according to Reuters. Reliance Industries, the top Indian buyer of Russian crude, now plans to reduce or stop imports of Russian oil to comply with the sanctions. Meanwhile, India's state refiners are working to ensure no supply will be coming directly from Rosneft and Lukoil. So the Indians are finally stepping up and cutting back their purchase of Russian oil. India is one of the biggest purchasers, along with China, of Russian energy. So if they stop buying, it gives less money for the Russian economy, less money for the Russian war machine. So that's great. Finally, and here's another CNN headline, which I laughed, not CNN, Russia. More Russian threats. Listen to this. Russia calls NATO nuclear exercises destabilizing 1 day after staging its own drill. NATO had a nuclear exercise today, and the Russians said, these are terrible. These nuclear exercises are destabilizing. They're threatening war. Russia did their own nuclear exercise yesterday. They did their own nuclear exercise yesterday. NATO's was today, and the Russians had the nerve to suggest that this is a horrible exercise. These exercises are destabilizing. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. Oh my God. Anyway, God bless the Russians. All right, I'm going to sit back. That's pretty good, 6:40. And now we hang. Now is the time it's when we dance. Now is the time we hang out and we talk about all the news, whatever you guys want to talk about. So, oh boy. Oh, thank you for the monkey clapping. Is that Gene? That was Gene. Thank you, Gene. Shutdown. There were some votes today, didn't go anywhere. Well, the interesting thing. So the Republicans, Trump has been stealing a lot of money, basically. Trump has been making, CNN did a really nice segment on this. What's his face? Phil Mattingly. That basically Trump has been making the impact of the shutdown less by basically stealing money. I'm going to open the curtain since the sun is gone. Somebody mentioned it looked nice, and it does look nice. So now that the sun is gone, I can open this up again. Oh, there we go. All right. There we go. That's a much nicer view. Actually, on TikTok, on YouTube, it's okay. On TikTok, actually, YouTube, it's not bad too. But on TikTok, it's a really nice view. Yeah, that looks nice. So Trump, thank you for mentioning that, whoever that was on TikTok. Oh shit, now I'm forgetting what I was saying. Thank you, Louise. Very nice gift. What was I saying? Before the view got my mind. CNN. Phil Mattingly, yeah. So Phil Mattingly was talking about how Trump has minimized the impact of the shutdown by breaking the law and basically stealing money. He has been illegally moving money from one part of the budget to the other in order to pay off people like the military and others he's trying to do, so that he makes the punishment less among people he cares about. But he's literally stealing the money. He's legally not allowed to do that. Only Congress can do that. Now, Trump's been doing this all along, shutting down Department of Education, stealing the money from AID. He's literally stealing the money. Well, on the Hill today, they tried to pass, but he's still heavy, but he knows he's going to lose in court. So they tried to pass, the Republicans did something today in Congress that would have given Trump permission to pay off the military and pay off a bunch of other government employees. Again, the government employees he wants to pay. He's not going to pay the ones from agencies he thinks are Democratic agencies, right? And Democrats said no. They refused to. So it didn't pass. The Democrats then tried to pass, which is smart of them. They tried to pass their own bill funding the government, but funding employees, including the military, but it included some other stuff the Republicans didn't want. So the Republicans voted against it. So what happened was you basically had Democrats and Republicans both voting against and for funding the military. So now they all can cover their asses. And it means the military is not getting funded. And if military families don't get funded, you're going to see a lot of pressure on Republicans, because guess who they vote for? A lot of them. So that's going to be interesting. Thank you, Sun Tzu. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Anyway. And healthcare. Yeah, I'm not sure whether the proposal said anything about healthcare. Thank you, Jane. Anyway, Argentina. Yeah, no news for Argentina today. I mean, I will say this, once again, Trump. Oh, yeah. By the way, the reason they took down, he claimed today, the reason Trump eliminated the East Wing. Oh, good, Manda. Pretty good. Keep watching. The reason Trump took down the East Wing and he demolished the East Wing of the White House, it's gone, is because it was very, very expensive to keep it. I think I told you guys yesterday, I couldn't keep it. It was very expensive. Well, if it was very expensive to keep it and we don't have any money, then why did he just give $40 billion to Argentina, right? Some of that could have been used to keep the White House. We wouldn't have had to destroy a third of the White House. Like, if we're worried about money. If we're worried about money, why is Trump himself taking $230 million? Trump is demanding that the U.S. Treasury Department give him $230 million in cash of your and my tax money. He wants our tax dollars. He wants them to hand him $230 million in cash to compensate him for all the criminal probes of his criminal behavior, including the classified document probe. Here's a thought. Don't steal classified documents and the FBI won't investigate you for stealing classified documents. But I was kind of thinking, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, shouldn't Trump pay us? Like, why did we have to spend taxpayer money investigating Trump? Because he's a crook, but he should have paid us. Why did we spend taxpayer money investigating the domestic terrorists who tried to overthrow the government for Trump on January 6th, only for Trump to let them go with pardons, right? Once he let them go, we should have said, you know what? We're charging you, Donald Trump. You just made the FBI waste all that money. You made all that money a waste that we putting these domestic terrorists in prison and convicting them, and you let them go. You owe us that money. But again, Trump claims he had to destroy the White House and destroy the East Wing of the White House because it's too expensive to save the White House. But he's taking the money himself out of the U.S. Treasury, $230 million of our tax money he's demanding for his pocket. Google this story. It is the most outrageous story you've ever seen. And again, then there's Argentina, that he's literally giving Argentina $40 billion, but we can't afford to keep the White House, right? Yeah, sure. And we can't afford, by the way, to subsidize your health insurance, because all of our health insurance, a lot of it's going to double in 2 months because Trump is letting the subsidies go away. And says, oh, we don't want to put money on Obamacare. Well, great. So a lot of our insurance is going to double in 2 months, in January 1st. Yeah. But we have money to build a gaudy ballroom worth $300 million and rising for his rich friends. You think any of us are going to get to use that ballroom? No. right? It's for him and his rich friends. We got money to put all that gold crap in the Oval Office. Where did he get the money for that? He claims it's real. Obviously, it's Home Depot. It's spray painted from Home Depot. He claims it's real. If it's real, where'd the money come from? Right? No. This guy, piece of work. Absolute piece of work. Yeah, no idea what's up with the bunker. I know there was that bunker from years ago. I didn't know it was still. I don't know that the bunker is still active. The bunker was around like, was it Truman or Roosevelt or whatever? Probably Roosevelt, World War II, I would think. He's going to put his name on the ballroom. Are you kidding? I mean, actually, other people were saying we should call it the Epstein Ballroom, the Epstein Memorial Ball. We should just all start calling it the Epstein Ballroom. Thank you, Flower Lady. Right? But Trump's going to name it after himself. Of course he will. Of course he will. The Trump Ballroom. Yeah, the Melania Ballroom. Whoa. We should name it the Stormy Ballroom after Stormy Daniels, who's the porn star that he paid for the hush money. But I do think the Epstein Ballroom is brilliant, actually. The Epstein Ballroom, absolutely. Again, Democrats should just start calling it that, the Epstein Ballroom. Yep, he did. He slept with a hooker right after Barron was born. Not hooker, sorry. Porn star right after Barron was born. One of our trolls didn't like it, so we're going to tell the story. So right after Barron Trump was born, literally shortly after Barron Trump was born, Trump slept with a porn star and then paid her $130 million so she wouldn't talk about it before the election. Yeah. But again, right after his son was born. Very bad stuff. Anyway, what else? I mean, at least the Oval Office we can save. Again, if he doesn't, I'm just afraid he's going to destroy this stuff. I mean, what is stopping him from saying, and I told you saw the pictures of the Oval Office. It's boring. The pictures of the Roosevelt Room, it's boring. What is stopping him from destroying all of these historic, or my God, the bedroom? Imagine what he'll try to do to the bedrooms upstairs. Oh, the East Room where they have a lot of the parties. I've been to that. It's boring. I mean, from Trump's perspective, it's boring. It's a big room. I thought it was cool because honestly, the history is what makes it cool. Not the gold spray paint from Home Depot. That's not what makes it cool. He'll add a McDonald's. That's exactly. He'll add a fast food McDonald's that's exactly what he'll do. That's brilliant. Yep. The Epstein honorary McDonald's. Man, Oh my, what else? Oh, excuse me. Do follow me, TikTokers. I do this show every Monday to Friday, 6:00 Eastern, live. We talk about the latest news. We analyze it. And then I also do some, news videos throughout the day. So, oops, I like my sweater, but sometimes on my neck after a while, it gets like itchy sweater. Anyway, or golf course. Oh yeah, he'll have a golf course. Yeah, that'll be next too. That's true. At least Melania doesn't have to decorate the East Wing for Christmas. The East Wing, let's find that picture again. Remember that hideous thing Melania did when she basically, hold on. Melania East Wing Christmas. That hideous, it looked like something out of, oh God, here it is. We were saying it was like something out of, wait, was this the one? Was it the red? It was the red one. Yeah, it was the red one because we were saying it literally looked like it was, out of, where's the, I mean, I don't hate it it's still really silly. I don't hate it as much, but it's a little weird. And of course it was done at the same time as whatchamacallit. What was the, oh my God, Gilead, Handmaid's Tale. So we're saying they literally look like the women from the Handmaid's Tale, which was very funny. Oh my God. It totally looks like it's from the Handmaid's Tale. Oh, this way. Anyway. Oh boy. I'm going to make some hamburgers after the show. I'm getting hungry. Got some hamburger meat from the store. Some sale. I got some like prime sirloin, whatever it's called, but on super sale. So I'm like, yes. My thoughts on the national debt are If you look back in history over the last 50 years, Republicans have expanded the debt and Democrats have tried to get it under control. And every single time the Democrats have tried to get it under control, Republicans decided to do massive tax cuts for the rich, claiming Ronald Reagan, they'll pay for themselves. Deficit explodes. George Bush, they'll pay for themselves. Deficit explodes. Second George Bush, they'll pay for themselves. Deficit explodes. Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump just did it. Same thing. Google it and you will see. Bill Clinton Ronald Reagan, huge deficit. Bill Clinton came to office, eliminated the deficit. We had $400 billion budget surplus under Bill Clinton. George Bush came in, took the surplus, and immediately passed $1.3 trillion in tax cuts. Trump did the same thing. I mean, this is all they do. So the national debt would not be the national debt if Republicans didn't keep busting the budget. But Democrats suck at messaging. Republicans are very good at messaging. So no one knows, not no one, but a lot of people don't know it's the Republicans who actually busted the budget. And it's been their tax cuts that did it. And they keep saying, the tax cuts will pay for themselves. And they just say the same lie every time. And people believe it. And it's like, okay, all right. And then what do? And then Trump comes in, we've got to cut all the Democrat programs because of the budget. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you, William. You should appreciate the music bubbles. Thank you. Anyway, Argentine meat is very good. I worked at the U.S. Embassy in Argentina as an intern in graduate school. The meat was tremendous. I got sick on the meat. You can get sick from eating too much meat, which I did not know. Happens a lot in Argentina. And I got so sick. I thought I had the flu. I was so sick. And the nurse said, did you go to the embassy function this weekend? I was like, yes, you get to eat a lot of meat. I was like, yeah. She goes, you've got this meat poisoning stuff that happens to people. I said, you're kidding. You can get sick from eating too much meat. She goes, oh yeah, happens here all the time. I was like, oh my God. No, literally, I felt like I had the flu. I was sick but it was flu symptoms, like pain everywhere, fever. It was meat because the embassy had a function. And it might have been 4th of July. I think it was 4th of July. I got there in time for the 4th of July. It was 4th of July, actually. And they had 15 courses of meat, and they're all barbecued. And different sausages, different steaks. And the waiters would come, walk you through the crowd, and bring more and more and more. And I ate so much. It was so good. And I ate so much, I got sick to my stomach. Oh my God. Yeah. Is it literally called meat sweats? I didn't know that was a thing. That's what they call it. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Eating rice from China. Water poisoning. I know water. Well, water can it can drown you, so to speak, if you drink too much. That I know. Meat sweats. I never. Yeah. I mean, again, I never knew that's what they called it. Maybe they called it that when I was down there, but yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, and I've always got to remember, hold on. Don't forget. All right. I'm not allowed to mention it on TikTok. So I'm not going to mention on TikTok, but I just mentioned on YouTube and Discord. Some stuff is live on Discord. Woo woo. TikTok doesn't let me mention it, so I'm not gonna. I don't know why it happens. I don't know. We can ask ChatGPT. Again, sometimes ChatGPT is right. Let's see. Let me try this. Hold on. Hey there, boyfriend. Sitting with my people live on TikTok and YouTube and Discord. We're wondering, I was working in Argentina at one point, had a big function. They were serving lots of different courses of meat, like 15 different courses, and I ate them all. And I literally felt like I had the flu, I think the next day or 2 days later. Went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Did you eat a lot of meat?" I said, "Yep." And she said, "Oh yeah, it happens to Americans here all the time. You can literally get sick from eating meat." What was it that I had, and how do you actually get sick from eating meat? Why would you get sick from it?
Sure, let's keep it tight. Basically, what probably happened is you just overloaded your system with a huge amount of rich, heavy protein all at once, which your body wasn't used to. That can lead to what's sometimes jokingly called a meat hangover, kind of flu-like symptoms just from overindulging. It's not a disease, it's just your digestive system saying, whoa, that was a lot.
But what literally is that though? Like too much protein? Why would it be hard on your body or whatever? What is that?
Absolutely. So in plain terms, yeah, it's basically that you just ate way more protein and fat than your body's used to handling in one sitting. Your digestive system has to work overtime to break all that down, and that can make you feel sluggish, almost like you've got a mild illness. It's not really a sickness, it's just your body dealing with a sudden overload of a whole lot of meat.
Okay. Just for the record, you do not feel sluggish as if you have a small illness. I thought I had the worst flu on the planet and went to the doctor. Yeah, it was amazing how sick I felt. I remember it was a flu and it was not she goes, you'll be over it in a day. I was over it in a day. It was gone. So yeah. So, oh, did I not say flu to AI? That's funny. Okay. Yeah, but it wasn't food poisoning. It was flu symptoms. It wasn't food poisoning symptoms. Yeah. I do pay the monthly fee to ChatGPT because I run up against the limit otherwise. So I do pay for that. Yes. Anyway. 15 courses of meat. More or less 15, I recall. More or less. Could have been 12. I don't know. They just kept bringing out more and more courses, and it was a standing meal. Like it was a barbecue where the waiters serve you standing up. So they kept coming by and you'd grab more. They kept coming by and you'd grab more. And yeah, but it was so many different courses. It could have been 15, yes. It was never ending courses of meat. And each one you were like, ooh, steak, ooh, sausage, ooh, different kind of steak, ooh, different kind of steak, different kind of sausage. It was just never ending. And it's Argentine where it's just, oh my God, the meat in Argentina. Oh my God, the steak. I remember eating the steak in Argentina and literally not needing a knife because it's so tender. Your fork was enough to break off a piece of meat and eat it. I mean, it's crazy. Literally didn't need a knife. Yeah, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, no, the meat that's why. And it's so good that you're like, oh my God, there's something else. So you eat the next style of meat and you go on and on and on. Oh my God. I mean, it's great meat. It is great meat. Why is Trump getting it from there? Probably because some friend of his has a sweetheart deal and is giving Trump a cut, would be my guess. We're not, they were saying that Trump is claiming we're going to get beef from Argentina and it's going to bring down beef prices in America. Well, it's not going to bring down beef prices in America. The expert said it's not going to bring down beef prices. What it is going to do is hurt American farmers because instead of buying beef from them, Trump is going to have the U.S. government buy beef from the Argentines, which is just another way for him to help his friends in Argentina and hurt American farmers. He doesn't care. He just doesn't care. So, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Oh, hello. All right. Come on in, little doggy. All right. Oh. Finally getting cold out there. Finally. I don't know if I've ever been to that Brazilian steakhouse here. I've been to a Brazilian steakhouse in Brazil. I don't know that I've been to the one here. The one in Brazil was quite good though. They came by with, the meat was on like skewers and they would like swords and they came by and like, put it on your plate. It was very good. I liked it. It was very good. It was fun. It was Brazil. Brazil's fun. Buy beer from, was it Quilmes? Brazil, Argentine beer. I remember that Quilmes. That's the only one I remember from Argentina, though. I'm not a beer guy anyway, but Anyway, oh, sorry guys. Oh man, I hate beer. God, I've always hated beer. Yeah, never understood the. Again, it's a genetic thing, clearly, because I'm like, how you could like beer. Oh. I've never understood it. It's fascinating. Churrascaria, sí, Javier. I always needed a nap. I know. Oh, pinned comment. They have one by O'Hare. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. That's the one you drive by in that big mall, right? Isn't it in that big mall where they've also got the gambling thing or whatever the hell it is? I think so, right? It's like on the right-hand side as you drive to O'Hare from, you or wherever. I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. Argentine meat is to die for. It's some of the, I mean, best in the world, really. You know. Beer mixed with clamato. Well, I will say, like, I always like the shandies or shanties or shandy, whatever it's called, the British. I think isn't it the British thing when you mix beer and, is it lemonade? Remind me. And the French have a name for that too, which I like. When I discovered that, I was like, okay, that I can handle. The French one, oh, what's the French one? It's not a Pinochet. What the hell is it? I'm thinking Pinochet. No, in French. But what's it called? It's something like that in French. Panache? A panache, maybe? Yeah, lambic, panache. This is a Pinochet. But like shandies, I like. Shandies be okay. Creek and lambic I love. I have lambic in my fridge. Are you kidding? I've got a bottle of lambic in my fridge. Love lambic. That I like, but that's not beer. I mean, that's fruit flavored liquor. It's wonderful. Oh my God. So good. Yeah. Limited in beer is quite good. Lambic, I get the framboise, which is raspberry, I think. Right? Oh yeah, it is raspberry. I don't think. I think I have the framboise, I should say. Yeah. It's very good. Or it could be cherry. I don't think it's cherry. I think I have the raspberry. It's very good. I do go back to Chicago so far. May not be soon. Once my family moves elsewhere, I may not be going back to Chicago ever again. I don't know. Lois of Siam. I don't know that. No. Anyway. Oh boy. That beer and tomato juice. I think I've heard of that maybe. Actually, I don't mind tomato juice. I didn't like it growing up. Now I'm like, tomato juice isn't bad. Peach beer. Oh, that sounds good. Pécheresse. That sounds really good. Actually. Well, like they've usually got it at what's it called? World Market. They also have it here in DC at whatchamacallit, that really cool, which I never knew about it until recently, that grocery store that has all the international stuff. It's that little hole in the wall grocery store you got to enter in back, and they've got all the cool international stuff. It's not, I always think it's Wegmans. It's not Wegmans. It's the other place. What's it called? With it? No. I said hole in the wall little grocery store in DC. It's an old time DC grocery store going back 40 years, 50 years probably. No, I think it starts with a W, but because I always think Wegmans is it, but it's not Wegmans. You'd have to have some local DC person. No, World Market is not 50-year hole in the wall. Does not have furniture. It is food. We're gonna have to find a DC person who's going to know this. My friend Matt would know. Yeah, Wawa. No, yeah, definitely not Wawa. I should ask Matt. Hold on. Oops. Come on. Oy. I'm never going to get this back. Where is this? What's it called? I don't think I couldn't stand Wegmans. Isn't Wegmans the expensive place? I didn't like that at all. I mean, I know I can see people loving it, but what is the name of the store in DC we went to? The one that was kind of a little bit of the hole in the wall. You had to enter from the back. It's probably up on Wisconsin, and it had all the cool foreign stuff, like, the ice cream, the chocolate, the beer, everything else. It wasn't Wegmans, was it? Or is that the expensive place? What was the name of the place? The place I went to was crazy. I thought it was Wegmans. Maybe Wegmans is the good place. Because the other one was the one all the yuppies whatever you call the young people today, like to go to, and it was so freaking expensive. Oh my God! I mean, it was insane. It was kind of annoyingly expensive, actually. Is it Wegmans? I guess actually that would have been a ChatGPT question. Let me see. Maybe it is Wegmans. No. Oh no. Wegmans is the nasty place. It's definitely not Wegmans. Let's ask ChatGPT. Help me figure out the name of a store and grocery. Hold on. help me figure out the name of a grocery store in Washington, D.C. It's been around forever, probably 40, 50 years at least. It's probably up on Wisconsin Avenue. The entrance is a parking lot in back, as I recall. And it is a hole-in-the-wall little place with short roofs that you find all sorts of foreign stuff. Foreign beer, foreign wine, foreign food, foreign treats, foreign chocolate, all the little, crisps and chips you might get from the UK and things from Japan, and it's all that kind of stuff. Everyone's saying Wegmans. It's not Wegmans. That's a huge chain. That's a huge, expensive grocery store. I'm talking about a little hole-in-the-wall dive that's been around forever in Washington, D.C. that sells food from around the world. Rodman's. Thank you. It's Rodman's. It's Rodman's. Thank you, KZ. That's exactly what it is. Thank you. Let's see what he says.
It sounds like you're thinking of Rodman's. They've been around on Wisconsin Avenue for
Okay, Chet, I will say this. ChatGPT did figure it out. He didn't hear me say or this thing with the Rodmans. Yeah, it's Rodman's. Yep. He goes, they've been on Wisconsin Avenue forever. That's what it is. It's Rodman's. Wonderful place. Very old DC kind of place. Like I said, very oops. What the hell's that? What the hell is this? Okay, ChatGPT this is actually very funny. For some reason, ChatGPT thinks that I asked this question. Now, this is a kind of question I would ask, but I didn't. It thinks I asked this question. That is so bizarre. Look at this. For some reason, my ChatGPT thinks I just asked it this. What are some of the most indulgent chocolate desserts you can make? I mean, I'm glad it's the kind of thing I would ask, but fudge brownies, chocolate lava cakes, chocolate mousse, no-bake chocolate cheesecake, chocolate truffles. True. Chocolate bread pudding. That sounds good. Chocolate mug cake. Yes. Most of them are bad. No-bake chocolate cheesecake. I'm a little suspicious on that one. No-bake cheesecakes, I'm not thrilled with. That was very funny yeah, Rodman's is so good. Maybe maybe it did. Maybe it said, oh, would you like me to provide you with a list of chocolate? I don't know why, right? Yeah, I was thinking another W one. Yeah. No, it was Rodman's. You know what it is? It's Wegman Rodman. I think what I meant by W probably is every time I hear Wegmans, I think Rodman's because of the mins, right? It's, like Spider-Man, like the Friends episode. That's why I keep getting the two confused. I kept thinking I'm getting confused with the W. Yeah, chocolate cheesecake is not. I find flavored cheesecakes detract from the cheesecake. What I like a plain cheesecake. What I have found recently is you can put a little bit of lemon in, very good, because cheesecake is already tart. So a little bit of lemon is perfect. And then you can make something for the side. You can make fruit on the side, like a compote or a coulis or whatever, right? A fruit on the side that you can eat with it. But even that, you got to be careful. The fruit overwhelms it, I find. Like, I like the fruit, but every time I've done it, I felt like the fruit overwhelmed the cheesecake, right? Phil Spider-Man, exactly. So I tend to prefer plain. My mom's recipe is great. I've put it before in our Discord chat, but typically I'll make now I make mom's and I add just a little bit of lemon. I don't even think I use lemon extract. I just add a little like lemon juice or a little lemon zest. It's quite good. I would try your killer chocolate cheesecake. I'm not opposed to it. I would still try it. It's just most of the cheesecakes I found that have been flavored, I've not been very happy with them. But yes, we're actually go to Discord and post the recipe if you don't mind. We've got a food section, a recipe section there. Mexican, well, I love Mexican food. Guac especially. Anything with guac. Anyway. Nope, almost done here, guys. A couple more minutes and we are done. But again, I find the plain cheesecake is better. Like I said, even the fruit doesn't quite cut it for me, unfortunately. But Oh, that's funny. My flowers, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. God, I hope they haven't changed. Oh, no, because maybe I moved them around. Yeah, I guess. Huh. My variegated flowers are getting, oh, no, it's this one. My flowers are variegated, but they're getting less variegated as we go into the fall, which is very weird. I don't know if that's a thing, like whether flowers can become less white mixed in with color. How weird. Yeah, because they're definitely less variegated now. They're like super variegated. So it depends on the temperature, I'll bet you, and maybe the amount of light. How weird. Or maybe it's even the pH of the soil. Strange. We're talking African violets. But mine are usually cool stripes, but right now they're beautiful violet, but they're like a super dark violet with only a little bit of the sunlight. Yeah, maybe because, well, it's fall now, so they're not getting as much sun, and not as hot a sun. So maybe that's doing it, I guess. Weird. I mean, they're flowering, which is nice, but like I said, I like it because it's a variegated flower. And right now the flowers are actually, I had shown you guys yesterday. Before we sign off, I'll show you anybody who's into plants. I can show you. Yeah, because this is a perfect example. I'm going to look. Let me find. Oops. Let's try this. Violet. There we go. Oops. Violet flowers. There we go. Okay. Oh, it pulled it up and then they disappeared on me. Come on. So, yes. So this is what they normally look like. Okay. But this was May. So you can see what they normally look like in May right there. It's a beautiful mix of color, right? Or again, this, right? It's like now it's a little darker than this. It's looking bright on the screen with you guys. Right now, this is what they look like at the moment. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of white on the bottom one. The other ones don't really have, they've got a little discoloration, but they're really quite dark. I mean, they're in person, they're super dark, but it's interesting the difference. Yeah, maybe because it's again, May, that was May, and this is October. So yeah, I guess. Anyway, very interesting. Yeah, I love my African violets. They're very pretty, and they seem to be very easy to grow. So as long as you give it a nice deep watering, and they're much darker than this. It's actually more purple. Purple does not photograph well. If anybody who's ever experienced this before, blues and purples don't. Purple doesn't photograph well. It kind of turns blue in photos, and it's a much deeper, darker purple. It's very pretty. Anyway, I hear you, dog. All right. I'm going to sign off, guys. Oh, you did a watercolor series? That's cool. It's 7:15, so we're going to go. All right. Well, thank you for joining, guys. Thank you for your gifts and for joining us and for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern, and I will be Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We will be hanging out for the paid monthly subscribers, TikTok, YouTube, etc. So consider subscribing as well if you would. That would be nice of you. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off, guys. So thank you for joining. Sasha's whining, so I need to get her treat in her toothpaste. All right, YouTuber or Discordians, see you guys. All right, YouTube, bye-bye. And TikTok, see you guys. Thank you.